Hi there, this is Nicole Watkins with Morgan James Publishing, and I've got the utmost pleasure of speaking with Kevin J. Palmer, author of Reawakening, an American Dream. Kevin, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I want to dive right in because this first question I have for you is, I think, a big one when it comes to especially the subject of your book and just everything that we've been through, in 2020. So we've obviously just seen one of the most contentious elections in history. In your opinion, has the American dream been lost?
Well, this is the greatest country in the world, and it was founded on personal freedoms. The problem we have in this country now, but it's plagued civilization from the beginning of time, is that ordinary people become ground up in the special interest groups. And there are people who want to tell us how to live our lives. The new origin theories are like there were 3 or 4 groups that dispersed out of Africa. So they're all different: Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, Neanderthal. So we're all different. 200,000 years ago, when we were hunter-gatherers, it was easy to get along, small groups. When we developed agrarian society, farmland became ultimately important, and power was the way to keep that farmland. Then there were those who felt that there's some people were required to be there for their personal benefit. I can give you clinical names, but you've probably seen them on Twitter, and as a behaviorist, I'm not even going to repeat them. But I will say that instead, you need to rise above the fray and come up with strategies to resist subliminal oppression, because that's what it's all about. We put people in the public sector, as you said, this election. They use that power for us to feel indebted to them. We hired them, they get in office or in positions of power, and then they feel like we owe them something. But we should not be intimidated or should not accept oppression from politicians, from school administrators, from cops, from DMV. We are any organizations that would put in practice for the greater good should honor us as the greater good. We are the greater good. We should not be answering to politicians, bureaucrats, administrators, and the police department. I'm about freedom, but that answers that question, I think. Yeah, it was contentious, but there's answers. Do not have to be wound up in that problem that we all get wound up in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Kevin, in your opinion, what would you say is the answer?
Well, the answer is awareness. We have to be aware of what's going on. Take back control. Okay, and the way I suggest is having the financial freedom to do so. I mean, wealth gives you leverage. Besides love, money is the most powerful force in the world. The problem is we're intentionally kept too busy to build our own wealth, to amass what we need. Every 4 years, we get one opportunity, as you brought up earlier. It's a colossal mess of the same people falling over themselves to get their snout in the public trough. They want to keep us busy so we don't notice that. Plus, we have to raise kids, walk the dog, go to church. I mean, who has time? I know if you're like me, get even ready for this. You get your job done, but boy, it's always other stuff that gets in the way of your personal life. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's why the same career politicians and the same CEOs and the same bureaucrats keep resurfacing. I mean, think of COVID-19. Politicians were too busy to see it coming. They never took China to task, but boy, did they fall over each other trying to hold themselves accountable. Meanwhile, the simple answer was lockdown. Americans need to say stop. Okay, and the way for me to say stop is have enough net worth and financial independence not to be bullied. I mean, we get bullied by our bosses, by psychopaths. Um, we need to stop being threatened. And the only way to me is having that financial freedom. Then you have quality time to spend with people that you love. To be clear, this book is not about money. Okay? This book is about freedom. When I was a young surfer, I thought, man, I could never get on a train and go to New York City and work in the city. You know, so what are your options? Well, I guess, you know, to do what you love most, you could give up everything. Try that. You don't have much except one thing. You can have the discipline to accept everything that happens to you. I've tried that. Very painful. Or the third, and I'm not saying one is better than the other, is to have enough money where you can control your own agenda. You don't have to worry about people threatening you or you're getting fired. Okay. And by the way, I recommend getting fired because that's a way to get empowered. Man, what you learn and it stimulates you. And look at the great disruptors. I mean, they all have been fired for something or left college, or, you know, Zuckerberg and Musk and Branson. So I guess I'm digressing. What's your next question?
No, that's great. That's great. So I would say, you know, what else should people do to keep ahead of this curve, you know, outside of course, buying your book?
Well, I mean, yeah, as I said, again, it's about being aware, okay? Information is used to control people, and it's limited. You see that a lot. You get some information. But let's face it, the motto of the rich and powerful, and I'm not saying that that's who we are when we read this book. I'm saying like the top 1/2 of 1%. The motto is control. Okay, they want us to become chronically dependent upon them. The Romans did it with Circus Maximus, but social media, sports, politics, it's the same thing. So we become helpless and content, and that gives them more control. The power of any government is longevity, and not just political parties, but for world domination. Bene vide vice, I came and I conquered. That's the motto. Um, it's been suggested to the populace that lockdown was the only alternative. Okay? If there were more creative, and they wanted to do testing and things like that, there was a million reasons why we had to be locked down. Okay? But if there were creative attributes or creative thought going on, that wasn't necessary. But Anthony Fauci, he has a job. So that's an easy decision for him. But, you know, he's not going to lend you any money for groceries. So my point is, it's always for the general good, okay? But the general good means the lowest common denominator. And, you know, 80% of the people who got COVID would have probably symptoms similar to the flu that we've all gotten every year. 20% would have severe or more severe symptoms, but only a small percentage would have like really severe ones. So the tail wagged the dog. So what I'm saying is the power is in the hands of the few who put us all in this cat-based bucket, you know, and the only way to fight back is by having money to say how much, when, and where you spend your money. There's a school of thought that says the government could pay everybody enough money so that we wouldn't have to work because we'll spend money and that could fund the government. But if that happens, we have zero control. And that's no independence. So financial freedom is about economic justice, and it's a kind of an evolution against wealth disparity, which is getting worse. I mean, the rich people are getting richer, and poor people and average people, not just poor people, you know, average people are getting poorer. So I don't think anybody should be suffering. You know, the super rich think that they deserve all the marbles. There's a lot of marbles to go around. I think we all should go out and collect our own. Go out there. It's time to get yours. That's basically what the book is. create your own freedom to do what you want and not be oppressed.
I think that's such a strong message, and definitely is going to leave viewers today with a lot to think about how they're going to continue to approach, especially 2021 and as they go forward. Um, I know too that they'll have some questions just from today. So where's going to be the best place, Kevin, that viewers today and your audience can further connect with you and just keep up with what you have to offer and more about the book as well?
Well, first of all, I agree with you. This is a great time. 2021 will be a great time to start over. Empower yourself to be free. And as I said, there's a lot of ways to do that, but this book talks about one in particular. And to get more information on that, you can go to kevinjpalmerauthor.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Kevin, thank you so much. This has been just very enlightening. And again, just I think such an important message of where our nation's standing right now, and how we need to take action as the people. And, I really thank you again for your time to dive a little bit deeper into this topic.
My pleasure to be with you. Have a Merry Christmas and a great New Year.
Thank you. You as well. Take care.